NASCAR wraps up a massive 2-day tire test out in Phoenix. Joey Logano says that NASCAR fans are spoiled, plus some new sponsors in new places, new manufacturers, and some new crew chiefs have swapped places, as well as some new spotters, and a couple of racetracks are getting a brand new repave. Let's break it all down today on Shifting Gears.
Let's go! That is my guy! Yeah!
I'm Alan Bailey, and my dog is extra needy right now, so mash that subscribe button so that I can literally continue to feed this thing. Look at it. It's too pathetic not to mash that subscribe button. And you can log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Lots of stuff to talk about. Every Wednesday, what we're going to do here on Shifting Gears is kind of break down everything that's happening in the world of NASCAR as far as little news, trinkets, rumors, etc. So to basically catch you up to everything that's happened, especially during the offseason. So let's start with this. For the last few days, NASCAR has been holding a test out at Phoenix in order to test the new short track package, mufflers for LA and Chicago, as well as new rear diffusers, spoilers, gearing ratios, etc. to help these cars race a little bit better, not only on short tracks, but overall for 2024. Drivers who were out there come from 6 different teams, 2 from each manufacturer. You had Christopher Bell coming over from Joe Gibbs Racing with Toyota, Eric Jones with Legacy Toyota in his brand new car. We're going to get to that in a minute. Ryan Blaney, the champ, in his Penske Ford, as well as Chris Buescher in his RFK Ford, with Corey LaJoie in his Spire Chevy, and Kyle Larson in his Hendrick Motorsports Chevy. Overall, though, NASCAR and the teams put in a significant amount of on-track progress. They were trying different combinations, things, and for the most part, everything seems kind of positive. But again, NASCAR is going to take all this data with the teams back to their facility in Concord, North Carolina, and really break it all down and figure out what worked best, what didn't work best, and they'll make their final decisions and distribute that game plan, so to speak, to the teams within the coming weeks. The reason that they did the test now and not as we got closer to the LA Clash is they wanted more time for these race teams to make changes. They wanted more time to manufacture potentially new pieces and make these changes for the cars so that we will see these changes for the LA Clash in February. Joey Logano has been catching flack today online and on Twitter specifically because on his show on SiriusXM, he said that NASCAR fans are spoiled.
Our fans are spoiled. And I love our race fans, but think about other sports for a second. Think about it. When are you going to meet an NFL player? Can you access an NFL player?
Nope.
Anytime, like 3 hours before a game? No. You can.
Well, maybe if you're Taylor Swift.
Yeah, okay. Maybe if you're Taylor Swift.
One exception.
But you can meet me 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes before I get in the race car. You can take a picture with me. I am there. And all the other racers are the same thing. They all, we walk down a red carpet, and there is people on both sides of us, and all the drivers stop and sign autographs, or at least try their hardest to, right? It's hard to get everybody, but you try your hardest to. That is the norm in our sport. That doesn't happen in any other sport at all. So to say we're not accessible is wrong. That is not the case at all. We are very accessible.
I 110% disagree with Joey Logano. He is so far off the mark here. Listen, when it comes to other professional sports, yes, motorsport fans have a lot more access than any other sport, period. There's no argument there. However, NASCAR fans who are on the grid, on pit road, in the garage area, on the red carpet before the race starts, more or less have to pay for that kind of access. To get into the garage area, to get onto the grid, you have to either be on a race team or have a connection with a sponsor of a race team. Or you just buy a garage pass, which are pretty expensive in some cases. They've gotten a lot more affordable over the last couple of years, but they're still not free. Joey is just simply ignorant on this, and it's not his fault. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. But as far as other forms of motorsports, no. Formula One doesn't have as much access as NASCAR. IndyCar, in some cases, has better or a little bit worse access depending on the track and the conditions. But the one form of motorsports that I think is doing the best job with fan access to all of its fans, hands down, NHRA. Period. Every time I go to an NHRA race, when they say every ticket is a pit pass, they mean every ticket is a pit pass. So every fan who buys a general admission ticket or a specific seat can get into the garage area and walk up to ropes that are separating a team pitting a car versus the fans. And in most cases, when that car comes out of that garage stall and gets to the grid, guess what? Fans have to quite literally get out of the way, and they have to part the seas to let the car get through with the driver in most cases. And 9 times out of 10, the drivers are literally in the fan zone signing autographs furiously. So yeah, NHRA does a significantly better job of fan access than NASCAR. I see where Joey was trying to say here, and a lot of people are tabbing onto that NASCAR fans are spoiled mentality and quote, but everything he says after that is kind of being glossed over, and it does raise a point. Spire Motorsport announced a couple of changes for crew chiefs over there for 2024. Luke Lambert's going to be heading to the number 77 with Carson Hocevar, and Steven Doran is going to take over the number 71 with Zane Smith for the 2024 seasons. We knew that this was coming. I actually do like these kind of mashups. I do think that Luke being with Carson will hone him a little bit more, and Zane's kind of the unknown, honestly. I think he's in an interesting position over there because he's clearly going to be the third-tier driver over there at Spire. But what equipment does that entail with everything that's happening over at Chevy, with them moving over into the new shop over there for Spire? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Spire in 2024. I think what's going to be interesting is to see where they end up on the pecking order as far as resources with Chevrolet. Them being a 3-core organization definitely puts them ahead of teams like Trackhouse now, as far as sponsor and manufacturer support. So it's going to be interesting to see how good they are on the racetrack in 2024. We'll have to wait and see. NASCAR opened up a brand new 58,000 square foot production facility today next to the R&D Center in Concord, North Carolina. It was a $53 million investment, and it's got a lot of cool bells and whistles. It has 8 control rooms for TV broadcast, 4 announcer booths, and it can do live event productions like the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2025. Drivers and teams will also be allowed to get in there and record things and make content, frankly, which is good for smaller race teams. But the thing that really has me kind of is the fact that now the Xfinity Series in 2025 and beyond will essentially devolve into the broadcasts that we see in the Truck Series, where it's low energy, the announcers are not at the racetrack, and F1 does a really good job at this because the F1 broadcasters are phenomenal, and so is that production staff. The Fox broadcasts of the Truck Series have been bad. They've been crap for the last few seasons, and no offense to anybody who's working on them, they're horrible. And I know for a fact that the people working on those broadcasts on the air and off the air are significantly better than the product they're putting out. I do not know for the life of me why Fox isn't holding themselves to a higher standard over there with those truck broadcasts. I am praying that the CW, the Xfinity Series, and NASCAR hold themselves to a higher standard for 2025 in those Xfinity broadcasts, but I don't have a whole lot of faith. We do not know who's going to be working on those Xfinity production broadcasts at the moment. It could be kind of a variety rotation of drivers and on-air talent. We do not know yet, but I'm hoping for the exact same booth throughout the entire season. I don't want to see the Fox model of 2 people there every week and then a third in rotation, sometime just 2 people. I think that is a garbage broadcast. But in general, Fox broadcasts for the last 5-6 years have been garbage. We also found out this week that Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California, Northern California, is going to be getting a repay for the first time in several years. This track has needed it, and the track itself has come out saying, hey, we have events happening on this surface 300 plus days a year. It's a very busy racetrack, and I can attest, there are several events out there all year round that are happening. So construction is set to begin after the first of the year and after the holidays, and conclude after the first 2 months of the year, so that in early March events can start back up out there, including the NASCAR series heading out there in June of 2024 for June 7th, 8th, and 9th out there for their respected race dates. Now, we knew that Legacy Motor Club was heading over to Toyota for the 2024 season. That was announced a while ago. We saw those Toyotas on track with Legacy for the first time this week at that Phoenix test. And a little bit bigger of news is the fact that Advent Health is moving over from Trackhouse Racing over to Legacy Motor Club for 2024, sponsoring Eric Jones in the number 43. We got to look at that 43 paint scheme this week out at Phoenix, but we also found out that Jimmy Johnson is going to be racing this car for a handful of races. Jimmy's going to be in the number 84 Toyota Camry, that's still weird to say, at Texas, Charlotte, and at Kansas in 2024, the first Kansas race. But I don't know, personally, mixed emotions seeing Jimmy Johnson in a Toyota. Oh, it's weird. He's been in a Chevy since literally 2001, before he was in the Cup Series with Hendrick Motorsports. So it's weird. It's very weird. We also got to look at some brand new 2024 paint schemes, including Chase Elliott's Napa Chevy. And a lot of people have mixed emotions about this one. I actually personally really like this. I was never a fan of the extreme use of white on that car. I never quite understood it because Napa's primary colors have always been blue with that yellow, and then all of a sudden you're throwing a lot of white into the paint scheme. Just a little off for me personally, but I really do like this one. I like the fact that the Napa logos pop so vibrantly on this car like we haven't seen in the Cup Series in quite a few years. And we also got this new paint scheme from RFK with that number 17 Fastenal Ford with that new Dark Horse Mustang. I actually really like this. RFK's been killing it with paint schemes the last few years, and this is no exception. Brad Keselowski also unveiled this look at his Fastenal Ford with a different brand on the car. I think there's a whole lot of Fastenal logos on the hood of that thing that don't need to be there, but overall, not too bad. I do like that primary blue paint scheme a little bit better. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So this was kind of a shock, but not really a shock. Trackhouse Racing is expanding, but not in NASCAR, in other forms of motorsports. Now, Trackhouse is going to be competing in MotoGP in the 2024 season. The announcement came this week with the promise that they're going to announce their drivers and their sponsor lineups at a later date. This new race team division over at Trackhouse is going to be managed by Trackhouse from their Nashville, Tennessee studios. However, the race shop itself is going to be operating out of Italy in an alliance with the manufacturers out there. To me, this honestly shows Justin Marks' commitment to motorsports in general and this race team. He's expanding to different forms of motorsports, putting his money where his mouth is, and going out there and trophy hunting and going for it. Honestly, kudos to him. Wish them all the best of luck in MotoGP. Will they be competitive? I don't know. Don't know who's driving for them yet. Don't know exactly what's happening behind the scenes. They didn't announce key personnel yet, and I think it's going to be a little challenging for them to manage that team from literally the other side of the planet. So we're going to have to wait and see if Justin Marks can be successful in MotoGP in the near future. We also found out that the defending NASCAR Cup Series champ Ryan Blaney will have a brand new spotter for the 2024 season, with Team Fedua, who is Kevin Harvick's old spotter, moving over to Ryan Blaney's number 12 team for the 2024 season. Josh Williams was Blaney's sponsor and hasn't confirmed it yet, but we believe that Williams is going to be moving over to spot for Zane Smith, who he spotted for in the Truck Series, likely landing him over at Spire for the 2024 season. We also found out that Chase Elliott's spotter is effectively retiring, but we don't know who Chase Elliott's new spotter will be for the 2024 season just yet. Let's go ahead and keep this discussion going in the comments down below. What do you think of the brand new 2024 paint schemes that were unveiled this week? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, go ahead and mash that subscribe button so that you do not miss a video. And now you can become a channel member in order to get exclusive early access to videos like this one here on the channel. And you get exclusive access to our Discord server in order to get early access to all the breaking news, the rumors that we cannot report publicly until we confirm them, so that you know what's going on a little bit better than the general public. And you can also log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Want to thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Look at my coot doggo right there sleeping. Bats! Bats! She does not care. For Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see ya at the track. Bye, Gearheads.